In this lesson, we'll be displaying images from two sources, one from the network and one from an asset that will be included in the project. To start with, let's remove the current body of the scaffold and replace it with a network image. A network image may sound like a widget, but it actually isn't one. Network image is a class that extends image provider instead of a widget. The image provider class is responsible for resolving the image. It performs the decode process involved in fetching an image and also takes care of caching the images among other things. Network image in particular is a type of image provider that is specifically used to fetch images from the network. The widget that allows us to actually display an image from the network is the image widget. For this use case, the network constructor for the image widget should be used. This constructor takes in a mandatory source, which would be the URL of the image in our case. It also has other optional parameters for further fine-tuning. Let's use a stock image URL to display it using this constructor. Once done, simply use hot reload to see the image on the emulator without having to hot restart the app. Let's assign a custom height to it using the optional height parameter. On diving into this constructor's quick definition, we see that the source URL provided to the constructor is being used by the network image provider internally to fetch the image from the network. Similar to network image, there is another image provider that is used to fetch an image from an asset included in the project. This image provider is called asset image, which extends another type of image provider internally. Corresponding to an asset image, the named constructor for it is image.asset. Similar to image.network, using network image internally, the image.asset named constructor uses asset image or exact asset image internally as the image provider. Let's add an image asset below the image from the network. Let's first wrap both of them in a column widget to achieve this alignment. The image.asset constructor requires the path of the asset as the first argument. Let this be flutter logo.png for now. We'll be adding this image in the next step. Let's also assign a custom height of 200 logical pixels to this widget, similar to what we did with the image from the network. We can obtain the image of Flutter's logo from the official Flutter and Dart assets provided by the Flutter team on the brand page. Let's choose the transparent background icon and save it in the projects directory directly. Make sure that the name of the image being saved is the same as the string provided in the first argument of the image.asset constructor as done earlier. Next, we need to move this image to a new directory called assets. Since we just included an external file in our project, using it would require a hot restart instead of a hot reload. But we observe that the image doesn't show even on a hot restart. This is because all assets being used by the project must be declared in the pubspec file. We can easily uncomment the already provided template for this and mention the exact same name as the name of the image here. Make sure that you keep all the indentation consistent in this file, as it could lead to errors otherwise. Also, it is recommended to use spaces over tabs in a YAML file. Once done, Refresh the YAML by executing get packages. Now when you hot restart, you should be able to see the widget with the asset image as the Flutter logo. Let's align these two images evenly in the column using main axis alignment. Notice how with hot reload, you can easily swap between images from the network and test which one looks better. The same applies for asset images too.